Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranams. This is a little preview today to announce that we're going to start here at the Hare Krishna Project a series of short talks on inclusive Vaishnavism. We hear a lot about progressive Vaishnavism. There are people in the Hare Krishna movement who would label themselves as kind of conservatives. They have more of a conservative approach to Vaishnavism. We're going to be starting a series of short talks here at the Hare Krishna Project on inclusive Vaishnavism. These talks will be weekly, maybe more than once a week, and then we'll carry on for several weeks looking at this concept of inclusive Vaishnavism. All of us know what it feels like to be or to have been excluded, whether that's kind of in the real world, in the material world. You know, we're excluded from the workplace, we're excluded from a social group of people, we were excluded from the sports team at school. I was massively overweight at school, so I was never ever picked first for the sports team. And also within our spiritual or kind of social circles within the Hare Krishna movement, many of us will know what it feels like to be excluded. You can't take part in that particular project. You're not allowed to attend that temple. You're not allowed to partake in that particular seva. We all know what it feels like to be excluded. So I'm going to be giving some short talks on inclusive Vaishnavism. It's a term I've been thinking a lot about over the last few weeks. Inclusive Vaishnavism. It's not progressive Vaishnavism. It's not a conservative approach to Vaishnavism. It's kind of that moderate center ground position that I try and take on most things. I would often label myself as a moderate in the middle of inclusive Vaishnavism. I had the honour of being invited to Slough last night to meet Bhakti Nandan Goswami Maharaj. Bhakti Nandan Maharaj is a senior disciple of Srila Shridhar Maharaj, and Nanda Maharaj has, I think, just finished a speaking tour of the UK. He's been going around meeting devotees, chatting to them, giving inspiring talks. And what I loved about last night's event was that I kind of counted in the way that I do, there were devotees from at least 6 different mats, or that have their kind of spiritual heritage, if you can have your spiritual heritage in an institution. There were devotees from 6 different mats there last night. And what was wonderful is that we were all chanting Hare Krishna together, we were all listening to an inspiring talk together, and we were all taking prasadam together. We did all of those things together. Despite the things that others may want to divide us about or pull us apart about, we were all taking part in this inclusive experience, this inclusive Vaishnav experience. So I'm going to be giving some short talks over the next couple of weeks and months on inclusive Vaishnavism. What does it mean to have an inclusive approach to Vaishnavism? How can we include as many people as possible? I was at a Hare Krishna temple in Britain a couple of months ago, years ago. I've been to pretty much every Hare Krishna temple in Britain over the years. I don't want to narrow it down too much, but I was at a Hare Krishna temple in Britain, and I was chatting to the lady that runs the temple. That does narrow it down quite a bit. And she said, "Narada, I've noticed that you want to include everybody. You can't include absolutely everybody." I said, "No, but I want to include as many people as possible. Lord Chaitanya's movement is for everyone. Krishna exists in the hearts of all. So the challenge for us all is, how can we be truly inclusive? How can we be inclusive to devotees, all devotees, those that would label themselves as Hare Krishna devotees, and those who are not devotees? How can we include them as well? We want to ensure that Lord Chaitanya's movement is as inclusive as possible. And that's a challenge for us all, even for me, even though there may be certain groups of people that I don't want to include, or that's a contradiction, that I struggle to include. So the challenge for us all is, how do we ensure that Vaishnavism, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Lord Chaitanya's movement, is as inclusive as possible? we'll be looking at topics around not just inclusivity, but also post-modernism. That's a term I've been exploring, or a concept I've been exploring over the last few months. Can we have a postmodern approach to Krishna consciousness? So I'll be giving a talk about that next week. So Inclusive Vaishnavism, including everyone or as many people as possible in Lord Chaitanya's movement. Those short talks will start next week. Hare Krishna.